very great morning to you, catching us live from different parts of this country. We do appreciate you very much, and you have to know that it's already 26 minutes past over 7 a.m. You're most welcome. Today is Tuesday, 16th of May, 2023, and it is Kokoliriko show right here on Western Television. We'll be back from different programs that went throughout the night and also till this morning, that you were enjoying those inspirational gospel music right there. And I believe that you have been inspired. And it's time for me and you to know what is happening in our country, Uganda, and also knowing what is happening in other countries in Africa, and also what is happening in the world. And my name is Denis, and I'm here till the hour of 9 a.m. in the morning. Don't forget, later on, I will be able to dive into what is happening in the world of sports, giving you the sports highlights before, with the whistle time that comes away every Monday through Saturday from the hour of that is 2 to 3 right there on Western Television. To love the food devour together with Lady Susie, not forgetting also that is a Benson, as they will be doing analysis. But therefore, we shall be looking at the local stories right in Western Sub-region and also what is happening in the northern part of this country before diving into what is happening at the national level, what you need to know this morning. And it is through Western Television, and we are here to light up the region as well. And so we'll be starting with the local stories, and my producer will be playing some of the stories right there for you. Okay, all right, dear viewer, you have to know that the country is being, I failed to look for those words. Should I use the word extrajudicial killing, where people are really using guns to shoot and kill? And this is the order of the day. And I believe President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is trying to make analysis of whatever is happening in our country, Uganda, in terms of killing. The other time we started with the shooting of the slain member of parliament for Oyam North, that is none other than retired Colonel Patrick Charles Okello Engola, who was gunned down by his bodyguard. And after that, we heard about the shooting of the renowned, that is a blogger, Jaja Ishuli. And we did not really take long to get another news of the police officer shooting the Indian business man, and was arrested. And here in Arua, let me tell you, robbers have really taken over Arua city, and I do not know what need to be done. And also you have to know that the home of the assistant superintendent of of police, Nampima, the guard was shot dead and her home was attacked. And we are hearing shooting each and every time. And these shootings, people are being killed. And what is the security doing? Should we say that the security has relaxed a lot in terms of getting rid of those security gangs? Why is it very hard to fight armed robbers, yet these people are staying with us? Should we say that now we do not know whoever is in this country, so that we can really do census very soon, so that the S1 person is able to know who is in his area? What need to be done? And should they recruit more vigilantes at the village level? I do not know. The people in Agago are requesting for guns from government of the Republic of Uganda, so that they can also fight the Karamoja cattle rustler. From Karamoja sub-region, we talk about cattle rustlers, and then you come to Arua city, you hear armed robbers shooting and killing at the same time, and looting. And so a thief will never spare you. And for your information, those who always sympathize with thieves, and let me tell you something about these thieves. When they're coming to rob you, they come with that mind of killing you and robbing you off. And so I always see when they get these thieves, they say, let him record the statements, and then he's prosecuted. Please, the person comes and persecute you. And then you have to use another term to really deal with the person, prosecute. And so I do not know what need to be done. Maybe I hear from you in the comment box right there. What should be done to curb the rampant shooting and killing that is taking place in our country, Uganda? It's the question that I can really ask. Should we say that the life is becoming so hard for the people that they want to find what is best for them that can make them survive? Should we say the cost of living is really going too high, that people cannot now afford life. And for you to afford life, you have to kill somebody. You have to rob somebody. I do not know. I do not know what the government is about to tell us. And I do not know when President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be able to address the nation in regards to that, because people are being killed using guns, and who are the people having the guns here? Should we say government has failed to understand that the people who have guns? I do not know. Let me leave it out to those who security personnel, and they understand the security of this country, to make analysis of this. Because when we keep quiet, let me tell you, it will also turn on you. Like Katie did turn to the giant of the Lao sub-region, who was laid to rest over the weekend. And so it shouldn't really be me next. And that is what I can tell you here, because they can easily shoot you, because people can now shoot at any time. And they just move off. We have CCTV cameras installed at different places, but we don't see the footage being released by police. I know they will be saying that it will jeopardize, investigation. But when you release the CCTV footage, somebody will be able to recall and get reminded that, oh, I know this person. This is so and so, he stays here and there. And so security should also be able to work with the Wananchi. They understand the locality better than even the CCTV cameras, because CCTV cameras might not be able to focus on some of the corridors where these things have been committed. And this makes me to start with the story of Arua City, where the security guard shot dead in Buruku Cell, Rhino Camp Road, right here in Arua. And so police in Arua City investigating circumstances under which Ben Amaku, a security guard attached to Security Group Africa Company Limited, was shot dead by unknown assailants at the Novafinia Medical Center, located along Rhino Camp Road in Buruku's central cell. The Western Police spokesperson, Superintendent of Police, Josephine Anguishia, stated that the suspect has been arrested in connection with the incident. No suspect, has been arrested in connection with this incident. And so that is something that you need to know. Let's hear more from Superintendent of Police Josephine Anguishia on this particular shooting that led to the death of a security guard who was just deployed to guard a medical center which is called Novafinia. And you are guarding billions of money or millions of money, but maybe at the end of the day they will give you a peanut, and then you are shoot. They have shot you and you're dead, and so you have gone. So it's quite unfortunate, right there. Let's listen to this from Superintendent of Police Josephine Anguishia on this shooting. Investigating circumstances, under which Ben Amako, a security guard, attached to Security Group Africa Company Limited, was shot dead. So we do apologize for that, technical glitch right there. If my producer can get us that particular story of Madam Josephine Anguishia of the shooting here in Arua City, it will be a very nice one. Let's have
Police in Arua City are investigating circumstances in which Ben Amaku, a security guard attached to Security Group in Africa Company Limited, was shot dead by unknown assailants. The incident happened around 1:50 a.m. on Saturday at Novafinia Medical Center, located along Rhino Camp Road in Buruku Central Cell. The West Nile Police spokesperson Josephine Anguishia stated that a team of investigatives from the Arua Central Division has since visited the scene of the crime and recovered cartridges. She further noted that no suspect has been arrested in connection with the incident.
The incident of robbery at the Novafina Medical Center, located at Buruku Cell, occurred on 13th May 2023 at about 2:30 a.m. in the night, where some armed people with one AK-47 attacked the medical center. which is located at Baruku Cell, Pangisa Ward, Central Division in Arua City, and shot one guard called Amaku Ben dead. So this incident was reported to police by the supervisor of SGA security company, which has been the one guarding that medical center. And immediately after getting information, our officers visited the scene. They documented the scene of crime, and the projectile and the cartridge were recovered, which will be forwarded for further analysis by our ballistic experts at police headquarters. And then the body was also retrieved and taken to Arua Hospital pending post-mortem. No arrest has been made yet, but as I speak, inquiries are at hand. Police is actually actively investigating so as to get the prime suspects and the weapon. We noted the issue of vigilance of the security guards. Of course, one challenge has been that there was a single guard deployed there, and yet recently it was advised that we should have 2 guards at every point of guard duty, so as to effectively support each other in cases of such attacks. But we monitored that there was only a single guard deployed, and that needs to be taken into action seriously by the management of the security company. Of course, police is already following that up with the management, and we therefore advise our people also at such places to be security vigilant. They should be conscious. They should know that anytime they can be attacked. Places that operate at night, like betting centers, like health centers, they should always be conscious and vigilant of the security of their surroundings. And the guards who are guarding these places should know that they will be #1 target to wrong elements. So there is no need to really take security seriously. They need to be alert and conscious, vigilant, and at the same time alert police quickly in case they notice unfamiliar movements around.
Amaku had been deployed to guard the medical center when unknown assailants shot him dead. Okumiringa Christine for West Nile Television, Nilecast.
All right, you have heard from Superintendent of Police, Madam Josephine Angweshia, in regards to the shooting that took place here in Arua. And you were able to watch from the CCTV footage that was extracted from the medical center right there. And I think out of that you can really make your analysis. You can really understand how the assailant just came and entered inside the medical center. And we are yet to establish how much has been stolen from that medical center. And this now calls for security beef at different workplaces or the organizations. We have to beef our security. If you have an organization that is still deploying guards with the baton, you have to know that the area that we are in, it is quite a little bit so challenging that a guard with a baton cannot now guard a multi-billion company, or that is running at this particular time. And so I think all of the proprietors of organizations should really think beyond things outside the box. We cannot now have guards guarding a place that makes millions of money with just a baton, because we have guys who now use guns to shoot. This is not the first time that we are registering killings with gun here in Arua City, and I know that the security will be able to meet and discuss what needs to be done to get rid of these armed robbers who are using guns to disorganize the peace and the businesses of the people right in Arua. So once a place becomes insecure, let me tell you, even if a city is located next to heaven, it will never develop, because nobody will love to lose his or her money in a business that he or she is doing in a place that is not secured. And so the security personnel, the security organizations that we have in Arua, I believe the resident city commissioner will be able to really call for an emergency security meeting to discuss what needs to be done to get rid of these armed robbers who are really terrorizing the people of Arua City. Because once the terrorization continues, I have to tell you that it will really affect the development of the city and also the business, because no business person would love to, put his money where the place is not where the place is not secure. And so that is what we need to look at. And so I believe that the security personnel in this country will also be able to discuss it at the high level. The time President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was able to meet the officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, the CIDs that we have in this country, and I believe that they will be able to do what President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was able to brief them right there at State House and Hebe. And I believe that very soon also the resident city commissioners, together with the DPCs and also other officers, should also be really, talked to see how can we get rid of these shootings that are really very rampant in our country, Uganda. So we pray for the souls of those who have departed away from us after they have been killed with the guns, to rest in eternal peace. Away from that, let's get to Gulu City. Actually, it's a region where, as means to leverage the contribution of private sector in that is fighting poverty in Uganda, Food and Hungry, together with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, has held what we call a suppliers symposium in Gulu to build the capacity of the small business owners in Gulu City. Stephen Okello is in Gulu and he reports on this particular story.
For Uganda to achieve Vision 2040 of bringing the country to money economy, capacity building for small business owners in supplying goods and services to both national and international NGOs had always been a challenge.
But sometimes they don't call after submitting our bids to tell us what actually make us fail the contract, to tell us what actually was our weakness. So some thing of that kind can embarrass a person.
Sometimes you find that in a rural area, like in Lamour, some people are running hotel at their level that they cannot afford to even have phones. Sometimes there's a network problem. Sometimes you don't even have MBs. So even operating maybe the high-tech phones of these days might be also a challenge. It's also one of the challenges, which I think with time we shall maybe have to cope up with it, but it's still a very big challenge. So sometimes they send a request for quotation and they give short notice. Maybe the power outrage, power is off. The next point, the computer points are closed, they are also down, and maybe you need to move to some distance to get those services. They are not readily available within the community where we deliver services.
According to Robert, limited knowledge in ICT is not only affecting them in accessing information, but also in paying taxes.
People on this side they are not all that well versed in the modern system. Not only mail, also come to new technologies like e-freeze, which have been introduced by URA. So most of the companies that are registered for VAT, they may not be able to operate efficiently the e-freeze that has been introduced. So they end up facing the penalties for the action that they don't know they did, but the law said they do. They always do, you see.
Marvin Chikanya, the County Director, Food for the Hungry, says this seminar will enable the local suppliers to share their experience and boost their capacity by learning from the various government entities before them in the workshop.
First, we encourage all our suppliers, as you said in the meeting, to embrace technology. This is important to be able for them to grow their businesses. But also, as an organization, where possible, we will try to use maybe basic means of communication, like calling. But really, it is in the interest of these small and medium businesses to embrace technology. It is in their interest as well.
Richard Diratira, who represented PS, Minister of Trade and Cooperative, urged the small business owner to make a good use of district commercial officers for bridging the information gap between the smaller business owner and Ministry of Trade. for bridging the information gap between smaller business owner and Ministry of Trade.
But also in every district now, we have the district commercial officers who are the representatives of Ministry of Trade at every district. One of their key outputs is linking farmers to the market and also display monthly or weekly market information at the marketplaces or at their notice boards. So you'll be near the district commercial office place, or once in a while you'll be there.
To improve on suppliers' knowledge on supply chain best practice, Food for the Hungry has brought together different government agencies to build the capacity of these young businessmen for poverty eradication. Stephen Okello for West Nile Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen Okello from GLU for that report that you have really made right there, and we do appreciate you. And for those who have listened to this story, you have understood. It is important that we should really support the private sector, because private sector is also one of the contributors of development in this country, and we really request that we should always be able to, support them whenever they are seeking, support from the government of the Republic of Uganda, because they are also contributors in ending the poverty that we are really fighting in this country, Uganda, more especially at this side of the region called the northern region, right there. Away from that, let's get to Terego District, where farmers in Terego District have vowed to open up more land to increase their acreage as they promise to produce more of the oil, producing crops like sunflower, simsim, and soybeans. This commitment was made during the handover of the storage facility at Biliafe Sub-County, presided over by the State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Kuyoshin Grace Freedom. Let's have more on this story.
Aggregation center di banisa sirisizo amarebo amotoke bani amerinira ikadusa se karende amotoke dale mvubo sunflower yazo first season ya ale yaongwa ngirisi amvubo mani yadale bore cha ekosu ya mange continue ibe ale kids dia magasto atre tani angirisi amaseni sendosu amalio mavu dia redraw abiribe ama ombani unisari simanire ma vini masira aindi ma aombwangiri sila zeri saadi kwata su nusu takene kwata towi ude mabi ni sendu suangiri kwani maza school fees a.
The food store here is not going to be redundant. We had a visit to that group. They had 17 acres of sunflower planted. And actually their request was that they would want to open more land, 44 acres. But they would need a tractor to do this. And I think he quickly assembled a letter to our former Prime Minister that the Office of Prime Minister will support us with one tractor. Initially, we thought under PDM it would be possible for groups to buy this kind of machines, but we discovered this may be a little bit difficult unless they combine and say this is our priority, which again is also, I think, not a priority investment area. So if we could be supported, I am sure and confident these farmers will be able to make us proud.
I'll be happy to see the stores, and the chairman LC3, you've already committed yourself that there'll always be food in the stores. I'm very keen. I'm praying for life, and I come back again and see that there is food in the stores, because it will help you. It will help you to engage with money or with the money economy. The one you are eating, you will keep at home. The one you want to sell immediately, you will keep at home. But the one you want to save to help you in bad times, you will bring here. The one you want to process to add value, you will bring here. So this is a very fundamental economy. What can we be proud of? It will only be our stores which will help us. I don't know of which crop. If it is sunflowers, we shall be boasting of cooking oil. We shall be boasting of maybe animal feed. We shall be boasting of many things that can help us. Even here, what do we have? What is made in Terego, in Biliafe? But if we do our little things, even our acreage cannot go to an acre. Our harvest is only one basin or one sack, and we are proud of that. We shall remain in subsistence, which has kept us in poverty.
All right, thank you very much. That is the story in regards to the farmers of Terego ready to embrace that is, bulk, embracing bulking of commodities right there through the project that has been, implemented under Development Initiative for Lowland Uganda, and so they have their store and also the factory for really producing, oil right there in the district. And so I believe that that will be able to change their lives. Away from that, let's get to the Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union wants the unfulfilled pledges made by the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to be fulfilled. The union, through its president, that is the Shirop Justus, reminded the President during the national celebration of the International Nurses Day last Friday in Arua City. The State Minister for Health, Anifa Kawoya, who represented the President during the national celebration, promised to table the issues that have been raised by the President, Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union. Right there. Let's have more on this story.
Holy people to love and serve.
The President, Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union, Chirop Justus Kiplangat, has reminded the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, of the unfulfilled pledges that have been promised to the nurses through their union. The leader of the union reminded the President last week on Friday during the International Day for Nurses, which the national celebration was held in Arua City at Muni University. Among the unfulfilled pledges that the union wants the President to fulfill include scholarship for 20 nurses, which the union says that the payment has been done partly, which is affecting the students enrolled.
His Excellency pledged the following to the nurses of this country. Okay, he pledged the support of scholarship. That one was partially done. He pledged 1 billion shillings for SACCO. Nurses here, you see them there, they have their SACCOs to boost their meager pay. So that money has never come up to today.
Justus used the day to appeal to the State Minister of Health, Anifa Kawoya, to remind the President of the pledges.
It's now 4 years down the road, so we don't know what's happening. But we got communication from State House instructing the Minister of Finance to pay nurses 1 billion, but we have not seen that money. So we request you kindly to remind the President that money was not paid, it was not given to the nurses.
The President Nurses Union used the occasion not only to remind the President about the unfulfilled pledges. He stressed some of the challenges the nurses are facing, among other include heavy tax being levied on nurses while registering.
Nurses have been subjected to stamp duty tax, whereas other colleagues are not. Now, when you go to register your certificate or to renew, you must pay 100,000 before they renew the certificate. That communication came in. We said no, government should not subject these nurses. The little money we have, you go and pay.
Amidst the challenges that the nurses are facing, some of the nurses are proud of their profession.
We have some of the politicians, they want to talk bad about us. They want to put us in the newspapers for the purposes of themselves being organized. But I want to say, please, we need support. His Excellency, we need your support. We need you to pay all the pledges that you have given us as nurses.
We want to make make people outside know that nursing, people had a biased mind that nursing is only for ladies. But people have come now. At least we are seeing how people are now coming in to take over nursing, even male.
The local council 5 Arua District Alfred Okwonzi and the area member of parliament Arua Central Division Arua City cannot forget to recognize the contributions of nurses in the development of the country.
Nurses and midwives are awesome. What they do is a lot in this region and in our communities, and also in nation building they do a lot.
Many times we blame medical staff. We blame nurses, that nurses are stealing drugs, nurses are giving sex, nurses are stealing equipment. I am not encouraging theft, but if we had catered for the welfare of these nurses, there would be nothing like stealing of drugs.
The State Minister of Health, Anifa Kawoya, who represented the President in the national celebration of the International Day, hailed the nurses and midwives for the difficult time they endured during COVID-19.
All aware that we suffered post-COVID-19 like any other country globally, and we lost many lives. But we have one thing that we should be proud of. It brought us one positive aspect that it united all of us together. You'll find globally all sectors in the health service delivery. We are together to share means and ways how to improve and enhance on our health delivery service.
The minister promised to inform the president about the pledges he made and also encourages the leadership of the union to continue engaging the president's office on some of the issues that have not yet been fulfilled.
I want to say that the students under State House scholarship, which His Excellency promised, I have not seen him touch on it. Likewise are the same promises that were for Muni University. But I can assure him, Monday, I'll have a privilege also to say, Your Excellency, when I presented you, these are the issues that have remained unmet, but all the same the people thank you for those that have been met. I therefore want to say that whatever is not met, you raise them up, send them so that I pass them for action.
Reporting for Western Television Nilecast, I am Denis Oringi.
Here I've heard from, that is the State Minister of Health, Anifa Kawoya, who presided over the International Nurses Day, where the national celebration for our country, Uganda, was here in Muni University, Arua City, Western Subdivision. And so I believe that with the submissions that were given by different people, more especially those who attended, including even the nurses and also the local leaders, something better will be really done for the nurses that we do have in our country, Uganda. And I believe that let the issues that were raised not only to hand here at Muni University, let the issues be discussed at the high level discussions that are always held in Kampala right there. And so allow it this morning also to appreciate very much the President of the Uganda Nurses Union, Shirop Justus, who has been really, standing, firm to advocate for the nurses that we have in our country, Uganda. If you cannot appreciate the contributions of the nurses, then you are not a human person, because if you are a human person, you at least at one point you were really helped by a nurse, or maybe your mother was supported by a nurse, or is being supported by nurses and also the medical workers right there. So we recognize the contributions of all the medical workers that we have in our country, Uganda, amidst the challenges that you people continue to face, and also ask the government of the Republic of Uganda to look into your issues that are always raised right there. We thank you and we do appreciate you very much. All right, away from that, let's get to issues to do with insecurity. Police have kicked off investigations into circumstances under which unknown assailants attacked the home of former traffic police spokesperson, Assistant Superintendent of Police Farida Nampima, and killed her guard. And so, according to Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Luko Esigire, the incident happened on the night of May 13th in Simbwa Zone, Kaboa Parish in Rubaga Division in Kampala District right there. He noted that on entering the house, the assailants started demanding for money and other items, and later stole items including a Samsung phone, iPhone flat screen TV, handbag containing that is 300,000, all totaling to 9 million Ugandan shillings. So that is something that you need to know in regards to the attack that has happened to the home of the former spokesperson for that is traffic police, Assistant Superintendent of Police. That is none other than Farida Nampima right there. It's quite unfortunate, and I believe that they will be able to come to the conclusion of this particular raid at the home of the former, Assistant Superintendent of Police, who was the spokesperson for Uganda, that traffic police right there. And you have to know that Nampima also, she is among those who have been implicated in the loss of the 5 billion that is suspected to have been, stolen through the EPS, that is the electronic receipting for the traffic right there. And so that is something that you need to do, and we are waiting for the investigations that are going on in regards to the 5 billion that is believed to have been stolen from the Uganda traffic. And some traffic police officers have been accused, and they are making statements in regard to that. And so you have to know that this express penalty scheme project was introduced in Uganda in 2019 around there to see that the errant traffic, the errant drivers and the errant motorists are really dealt with in terms of making them pay fines. And so they realized that the receipts were issued to the motorists. Unfortunately, the receipts cannot be traced up to now, and that means that either the traffic police officers who have been manning this EPS system, they were either picking cash from these people and then they delete their receipt that they were able to create using the system. And so they realized that a receipt totaling to around 5 billion they are nowhere to be seen. And so this has brought a very serious issue in the traffic department of Uganda Police. And I believe that the investigations will be concluded, and those that will be found culpable, will be dealt with right there. And so, dear viewer, you have to know it's already 3 minutes past over 8 a.m. right on Western Television. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we still might have more for you, as we'll be diving into what is happening in the dailies today, the Daily Monitor, and also the New Vision. What are the stories that are making headlines, so that you get to know what is happening at the national level here in our country, Uganda. My name is Denis. It is Kokoliriko Show on Western Television. We are coming to you live from the broadcast house of Western Television right here on plot 39A, whether it Park Lane here in Arua City, Western Sub-Region, Uganda. Good morning.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on StarTimes this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Merkula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with StarTimes. StarTimes is regulated by UCC.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Television, we still have more for you this morning. Let us get to what is happening in the dailies and looking at the Daily Monitor and also the New Vision this morning. All right, dear viewer, you have to know that government starts artificial insemination refresher training. Is something that you need to know, that government is looking forward to really embrace artificial what we call insemination. And so the National Animal Genetic Resources Center and Data Bank, that is NAGRIT DB, on Monday commemorated commenced a 3-week refresher training for animal insemination to improve their skills in artificial animal scientists to improve their skills in artificial insemination and increase that is access to services. Right there, Dr. Peter Baine, the Executive Director, NAGRIC DB, said that 39 trainees have been selected from across the country to undergo the training, which is being conducted at the Ruhengerere Ranch in Kiruhura district, and is something that you need to know. The head of the artificial insemination training, that is at NAGRIC, that is Siraj Luagu, said access to artificial insemination services in some parts of the country is still hard because of the limited number of skilled scientists and the high cost of equipment required to do the work right there. And I believe that after this training, the people who will be trained will be really, help in improving the services of the insemination right there. And so that is something that you need to know that is coming through the Daily Monitor today. Also in the Daily Monitor, you have to know that NRM Manifesto Week, Prime Minister weighs in on government progress is what you need to know right there. Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, he has said the National Resistance Movement government has successfully that is implemented the at least 11% of the 2021 to 2026 that is manifesto in the last 2 years. The Prime Minister also disclosed that 77% of the government commitments are on track and are about to be achieved. And so the leader of the government business made the remarks while launching the NRM Manifesto Week in Kampala last Friday right there. And so Nabanja said the government is firm at maintaining peace and security as a core ingredient upon which the various social and economic activities are hinged. Premier further noted that the 2 years of the manifesto implementation have been largely for planning and transition, with an overall achievement standing at 11% in the 5 major sectors of education, health, ensuring justice and equity, protecting life and property, and achieving economic and political integration right there. On the PDM and industrialization, Prime Minister Nabanja also noted that the government has managed to establish that is 10,594 parish development circles in the last 2 years. A total of that is 1.059.4 that is trillion was released by the government to capitalize the circles. And quoting her verbatim, saying that this financial year the government has so far released that is 794.55 billion for the revolving funds. Out of that is 221.975 billion has already been disbursed directly to the bank accounts of 8,879 already PDM circles in 162 local governments. That's according to the Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, right there. So the NRM Manifesto Week is still on, has started on Friday. And so yesterday, I think a different ministry was also able to present its achievements and the challenges. And I know today also another ministries will be able to present their achievements and challenges in regards to social, economic, and political development of the country right there. And so you should always have your fingers crossed on some of these issues so that you get to understand what the government of the Republic of Uganda has so far achieved, more especially the government in power, the NRM government. How much have they achieved in as far as the implementation of the 2021-2026 manifesto is really concerned. And so you can as well get yourself a copy of the manifesto book, and so that you keep following whatever has been written in that particular manifesto book to get to understand whether the implementation is going on the right track right there. Let's get to what is happening in judiciary. You have to know that judiciary speaks out on driver would threaten to kill a judge right there. The judiciary management has said it has reached out to its staff member, a driver who a few days earlier came out complaining over the peanuts he receives as salary and allowance. And Stanley Kisambira, in an audio clip which went viral on social media, claimed that receives a 200 as salary and the same amount for allowances per quarter. The driver, who has been working at the judiciary for a period of 15 years, said he is very annoyed and that can do harm to others. And so they quoted him saying that, "I am a driver, I can ram into a stationary trailer, killing all occupants, including the judge and bodyguard." Following his claims, the Judicial Administration said on Monday that they are offering guidance to the complainant on how best to address his concerns. While it is true that salaries of non-judicial staff are low, like for workers in other institutions, the judiciary management has made interventions to bridge that gap. And this is to reassure all staff of the judiciary that everything is being within the laid down legal precedents to further address their welfare concerns. And this rates in part. And you're paying somebody 200,000, a driver, and the person is driving somebody who earns over 20 million. I think it's quite unfortunate. The gap is too big. Why don't we be human enough to see how we can really balance up this? I am not supporting this, but with the cost of living currently, you're paying somebody 200,000 at the end of the month, and we have how many days? In a month, we have around 30 days in a month. And this person is driving this person who earns over 20 million on a daily basis, and calculate the number of hours. I do not know how much this person is being paid per hour. And that means that an hour, the person is either being paid only 500 shillings. You're paying somebody for 30 days and you're paying 200,000? And this is way too much. A driver who is driving a judge who earns over 10 million, and you're paying the person, at 20,000 per quarter, and also allowance is also 20,000, 200,000. I think it's good that the judiciary says that they are going to sit down and look into this matter. By the way, I think as a country we should be able to get to understand what is currently happening in the country. I think cost of living is really getting very high. Remember, they will not increase your salary, but prices of commodity in the market will continue to go high. And I think it's time for government of the Republic of Uganda, through Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, to introduce what they call the minimum wage bill on the floor of Parliament for discussion. I do not know why it is taking long for the legislators that we have in this country. Over 500 legislators in the country cannot even, bring on table what we call the minimum wage bill for discussion. But when it comes to discussing other issues, you will see members of Parliament putting all the energy that they can really, that they have to have a discussion about those issues that they think it is important for them. But when you talk about the introduction of the minimum wage bill to be discussed, nobody wants to hear about that. Is it because maybe the majority of the members of Parliament who sit at Parliament of the Republic of Uganda owns these parastatals and owns these organizations and the companies, and it becomes very hard for them to bring this on table for discussion at Parliament of the Republic of Uganda? Should it be that these should be introduced by by a private member bill? But now also, who is that private person who is going to introduce the private member bill on the floor of Parliament when he or she is also having number of companies that is also paying salaries to some people? It becomes a little bit very complicated. And as Denis Oringi, and that's my personal analysis into what I would really term to be the delay of introducing the minimum wage bill, in our country, Uganda, here. I do not know what other people will really say. They might be having other comments in regards to this, but truth need to be told. If we continue to bury our heads in the sand thinking that all is well, let me tell you, not all is well. Life is getting a little bit more tough, and tougher for those wananchi, more especially those, the low-ranking officers who are working in different government ministries, departments, and agencies, and even the local governments. So the person is only paid 200,000 at the end of the month, and this person is supposed to work for how many hours? By government standard, the person is supposed to work 48 hours a week. And so 48 hours, if you are supposed to calculate the number of hours that the person is supposed to work in a month, then you come down to the hourly rate, and then you will find that the person is working for 500 shillings per hour, in which this is really quite unfortunate in a country where we have the denomination that is 50,000 higher, and that is the highest denomination that we have in our country, Uganda, in terms of money, 50,000. So each and every time when you want to take somebody to work in your garden, for instance, the person is looking at the highest denomination that we have, that is 50,000. And so the person will be having a negotiation between 40,000 and 50,000 50,000 here, your salary at the end of the month is only 200,000. So if you pay this person 50,000, for working on your garden, now how much are you going to remain with? There's a certain actually who did analysis that a security guard is paying 150, and this person in Kampala, the person has to rent a house of 50,000, and that money has gone for a house. And then also take, for instance, the person has to take, breakfast, to 1,000 for breakfast in the morning. Now 1,000 multiply by 30 days, and that is how much? Big amount of money. Plus lunch, by standard in Kampala, lunch for 3,000, and that is the minimum that you can really eat. And then 3,000 on a daily basis time, that is 30 days. How much will this person be able to spend on lunch and supper? And then go to supper. Supper also around 3,000 also. At the end of the month, all the money that this person gets from the workplace where the person is working, from the money goes into rent, breakfast, supper, and lunch. Now back home, what can the person send? Nothing. The person does not send any amount of money. And then we are talking about poverty, chasing poverty. It is going to be impossible to chase poverty if the number of young people are getting out of the village and coming to town so that they can really look for money. Even if we talk about fighting poverty, it will be impossible, because if people are still being paid meager, let me tell you, it is very hard to fight poverty. And look at the majority of the people who are in the the working group. Where are they working? They're working in towns. They're working with the people. And how much are they being paid? And can they use that money to chase poverty? Really, it is a little bit very complicated and very hard. And so I think government need to sit down and look into this matter. If not, I think we will be able to continue seeing things being done not in the right way. People are really squeezed at the corner. Here in Arua City, let me tell you, people are now robbing people during broad daylight. Just grab your bag. Yesterday, a woman's bag was grabbed. The other time, a certain woman's bag was grabbed with the money, and the woman, claimed herself on the motorbike of these people, and she got bruises over bruises. And when she was making alarm, nobody could really help, because each and every person is squeezed. And nobody has time, to help a colleague, because he finds that I'm going to waste a lot of time. My family need to eat. I need to get 5,000 for them to buy maybe, a half a kilo of beans, and then also I have to look for nyafra, and that is cassava flour for 1,500, so that they can really eat something. And now each and every day you have to work for what you are going to eat, and that is the situation that we have found ourselves into. But the richer will continue to get the rich will continue to get richer, and they will continue to increase on their wealth, as the Bible says that God will bless the hands of those who have, and those who do not have should work hard to get. And for how long will you work hard to get when somebody wakes up maybe 6 a.m. in the morning, and the person leaves maybe a workplace late in the night, and at the end of the month, at the end of the day, the person's level of poverty continue to increase each and every time? And then who is lazy? Nobody is lazy. People are really working hard to see that they improve their livelihood, they improve their standard of living. But because of the economic situation that we have in this country, it's a little bit very hard for people to move out of that poverty. Even if people work day and night, still the money that they get from the workplaces, the money cannot really make them get out of poverty. And that is the situation that we have in our country. And I'll have to challenge those who like burying their heads, saying that all is well, things are okay, people are lazy, people don't want to work. Let me tell you, people will have the zeal to work, but after work, what they get cannot sustain them. That is the fact. And so we cannot run away from that fact. And then you tell a person to go back to the village, and the person should really dig, and the person is going to dig. Where will the person get money for buying the inputs? It becomes a little bit very challenging, and that's why we have very many young people riding border borders here in the town. And these are not their motorcycles. The motorcycle belongs to somebody, and the person puts condition on the motorcycle. You have to give me 80,000 at the end of the week. With the number of motorcycles that we have in Arua City here, even the number of motorcycles are more than the number of human persons who are living in Arua City. How comes that the person will be able to get 80,000 in a week? It becomes a little bit very hard. And if you fail to meet that, the person withdraws the motorcycle from you. There are people who have gone to school, that have studied, and you say the person doesn't want to work. But where is the job? Create your own job. Where is the capital for creating my own job? Yet even getting money for feeding myself is a problem. How can I get capital even to create my own job? And so that is a situation that we have currently, and I believe that those who think for the government will be able to sit down and think about this. But it's quite unfortunate that they might not get time to think about this because their life is okay. They can afford, after tea they can take a cold drink. After lunch they can take what they want to take because the money is there. And they always move with the highest denomination of money that we have in our country, Uganda, 50,000 notes only in their bags, in their pockets. It becomes very hard for them to think about the person who uses 5,000 the whole day from morning up to sunset. And that is the situation that we find ourselves into. We should not really pretend that things are okay. Things are not okay in terms of life. And that's what I can really tell you because I stay with the people and I'm part of those that can really say life is not easy. Even if you work left and right, still you will find that you are squeezed at the corner. And it becomes very hard for you to join the rest to fight the poverty. Much as government says we should join hands to fight poverty, it is a little bit very complicated because of the minimum wage that is not introduced here. At least a maid getting to work at somebody's home, a maid will be assured of that my starting salary will be maybe at 200,000. And then I can negotiate to around 500,000. But you find that a maid is working for 20,000 a month in the home of a rich person who moves with 50,000 notes in his or her pocket. And this person who works from Monday to Monday morning to late night, the person is paid 20,000 at the end of the month. And that is the situation. How can this maid be able to chase poverty at their home, at her home? If the money is paid at the end of the month is 20,000 and you're subjected to do whatever you're ought to do. They tell you to do, wake up at 4 a.m., bathe the children, make sure that you prepare breakfast, prepare everything, take the children to school, go and pick them from school, come give them lunch, Then you want that person to come out of poverty? It is impossible. Even if you say, do this, then don't do this. The 20,000 is very little currently. 20,000 cannot even buy, let me tell you, 20,000 cannot even buy pins nowadays here in town. But if you want a person to look smart, it's impossible. So money has lost its value in our country, Uganda. I can remember in 1998, soldiers were earning around 90,000, but that was amount of money. You go with 5,000 in the market, my dear, and that you're one of the richest dudes in that village. But currently, can that 50,000, can that 5,000 be able to even buy something at a windy market? You cannot even go to ask for a price of a fresh fish, and you want to change diet, and they always tell you that you have to balance your diet. It is impossible, and that's why we continue to register more children, get them malnourished. And you blame the parents, you're not feeding your child very well. How can you feed your child with 5,000 from breakfast up to supper? It's impossible because the value of money has depreciated. And so why can we have a discussion around, working how to reduce, the value of money? Now, the other time people were discussing issues to do with introducing 100,000 notes. Let me tell you, Ugandans, when they introduce 100,000 notes in this country, then we are finished, because each and every person will be looking at that, getting that note of 100,000, and it's only a note. And you find that the cost of living will go high. Prices of commodity will be high, and it will become very hard for us to live a life. And it will reach an extent that you will say, I think life is becoming very hard, and I cannot really continue to live a life because it is impossible. And so that is the situation. We are in 26 minutes past the hour. That is 8 a.m. right on Western Television. Reflect. Have that self-reflection. If you're seated in your living room this morning, just sit and think about this. Somebody who has grown up in money might not think about what I'm talking about because the person has never felt, economic hardship. But a person who has been going through economic hardship and you have reached a certain level, you will be able to agree with me that Denis Oringi is really speaking sense here. Because we know what it means to live a life and to work and to get money. And somebody will say that, no, you're not making good use of your money. Now, why should I use my money? Money buy what it can buy. And that is the principle of money. So you cannot keep your money in your living room, in your bedroom, or maybe under your pillow. But you have to use the money for you to survive. And so money buy what it can buy. And so if somebody has used the money to buy what he needed by that particular time, the money should really have value. And what the person is buying should also add value to his or her life. Nobody would spend money on something that cannot add value to his or her life. People spend money on what can add value to their life. And that is why money is supposed to be used. Without money, can you get the other thing? Remember, it is very hard for you to get something for free from somebody currently. You have to use money. And so you need to put on a clothes, you have to use money. You need to drink water, you have to use money. It is worse in the city here that even the greens, you have to use money because we don't have kitchen garden. You want anyafra, you have to use money. And so that is what we termed as principle of money. And we cannot run away from that money is losing its value. And the rich people will never feel this because they have the denominations in their rooms, in their bags, in their cars, and they continue to drive having this money. And they will never feel the economic hardship because the money is there and they're being paid highly, you know. But the wananchi are not being paid highly. They are given that money. Sometimes you stay for 6 months without pay, you know, and then this person wants you to even to continue working, you know, continue working. And if you don't want to work, they tell you, please, there are many people on the road looking for a job, can show you exit. And this person is chased even when the 6 month salary has not, you know, have not been paid. And what will happen? A poor person cannot challenge a rich person in the court of law unless you have your godfather who can support you and stand with you. And that is the fact. Here, if you are poor, you cannot challenge a rich person who employed you and failed to pay you even for a month, even for a year. It goes. Start another life. And that is the situation. And so how can we come out of that? And find that the same people who are failing to pay people, they are being glorified in the churches. They go and they are given a front seat. I do not know, maybe they are given front seat to repent, but they don't even repent. They continue to do the same. I do not understand why they are always glorified because of their money. And the poor person who is suffering is not even glorified in churches. And so that is the dynamics of life that we live in currently, and that the world is getting more confused, that some do not even think about the lives of others. And so it's quite unfortunate right there. Let's get to more stories right we have here for you this morning. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has okayed payment of medical interns. Is something that you need to know. You see, the interns in our country, Uganda, they have to really protest to tell those who are really controlling the economy that, look here, life is very hard. If you don't give us money, how do you expect us to survive? And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the leader of the country, who understands what is happening in the country, has okayed the payment of medical interns. And this has just dropped in here on Daily Monitor. The President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has directed the Finance Ministry not to scrap payments for medical interns. Sources in the government who spoke to Daily Monitor on condition anonymity said the resolution was made in the cabinet meeting yesterday, Monday. Dr. Loswata, the Secretary General of the Uganda Medical Association, said that the cabinet has confirmed the resolution that Ministry of Finance should be able to, to pay the medical interns. And so that is good news, and we clap for them. And it's good to advocate. If you keep quiet, my dear, nobody is going to advocate on your behalf, but it has to be a peaceful means to advocate so that you don't disorganize the lives of other people as well. And so I think this is good news for the medical interns. They might be going back for work after, the protest that they had right there. And so the resolution came hours after police dispersed and arrested some pre-medical interns who were protesting delayed deployments and plans by the government to scrap their allowances. And among the issues raised by government officials was that the number of medical interns had become too big for government to manage. Medical interns are doctors, pharmacists, and nurses who have already graduated from medical school but need to undergo a 1-year placement in the hospital to get that is permanent practicing licenses from the professional councils. Some of them said they have been waiting for deployment for the last 9 months in vain. The intern doctors are paid $2.5 million each month. Their absence, according to Uganda Medical Association, has affected service delivery in public health facilities as they carry around 60% of the workload, partly because of the few doctors employed by the government right there. $2.5 million to the medical interns every month. That's a good amount of money. And that one you can really survive with it in this country, Uganda, because you can really get a house over that is a 500,000 out of 2.5 million. You have your 2 million that has remained intact. And you can still even go and ask for a price of a vehicle and you drive around as a medical intern who is going to the public hospital to work. What about other people? Somebody is paid only 200,000 at the end of the month. The person is supposed to drive somebody who is earning over 20 million. It's quite unfortunate. The gap is too big. All of us, we go to the same market and they go to the same supermarket. And so what happens? Life has to be squeezed. And such people end up renting, like for instance in Kampala, the person ends up renting around Bwaise, Kabalagala, you have to go the other side of Namuongo to rent, where floods disturb people each and every time. Because you cannot afford living in Muyenga. Cannot afford living around Gaba, around Munyonyo. You cannot afford living around that is Rubaga. And you have to get where your level is. And do not know when this will really stop. It reminds me of a book written by Fernando Yono, the West African, who said that when the white people are partying, the Africans have to peep through the defense to see how they are, they're merrymaking. And this is the order of the day. And how can we move out of that? How can we treat ourselves that we are all human persons who need to live a life at that standard that some people are living? And so that is something that you need to know. And so let's get to that is more stories that our son is mentally ill, insists the PC Wabire's family. The gentleman who shot the Indian businessman in Kampala, the family members have come out to say that their son is mentally ill. And so but police has dismissed this. Order of killer gun dismissed from police is also another thing that you need to know. And that somebody who held the gun that was used for killing has been discharged from the police. Police constable, that is Stephen Mulombo, whose gun was used by Ivan Mawire to shoot a money lender on Parliamentary Avenue in Kampala, has been dismissed from the force. According to police spokesperson Fred Enanga, the killing have been avoided if the owner of the gun, PC Mulombo, had not left it unattended in the room that he shared with PC Mawire. And that is something that you need to know in regards to the shooting of the money lender along Parliamentary Avenue in Kampala right there. And so let's get other highlights that you need to know right here. That Uganda Netball Federation president remanded over that is 6 million fraud that she is alleged to have committed. Is something also that you need to know. And then a woman filmed feeding stepson on feces arrested. You see that extent that stepmothers have reached to feed their stepsons and stepdaughters with feces, and that tells you that life has become very hard. And as a man, you cannot bring your child to, that you have got with another woman to come and stay with the woman you're staying with here. That woman will never allow that to happen. Why? Because life is very hard. Economic situation is very hard. And the woman will feel that, why should I waste money spending on somebody's child? And that is the mindset that we have in a society. In a society where people are very poor, what you see, people are being fed on feces. As this woman was filmed, feeding stepson on feces, good enough, she has been arrested by police and she will be able to, serve the sentence. Let's get to issues to do with the safe water and safe and clean water. They are telling us here that 14 million Ugandans have no access to clean and safe water. 14 million Uganda. Out of how many Ugandans do we have here? We have over 45 million Ugandans. And so if 14 millions of Ugandans cannot really afford clean and safe water, that tells you also the quality of life that Ugandans are living. And that means that life is not really okay. Meaning that people are drinking just with animals. In some villages, in some areas, in Western Hill, more especially Madi sub-region, especially Madi Okolo district, we have places that people drink water together with the animals. You have to go faster than even the animals, and you have to go and secure, the clean water. Then the people who go after the animals have really drunk from the source, and the person has to really, scoop that water and brings back home. And so that is the life in his. Policeman who shot Indian moneylender, normal and sound. That is a Nanga. In regards to that, the family members have said, their son is mentally ill, is what the family members are saying. But here, Fred Enanga is saying that the policeman who shot the Indian moneylender, the man is normal and sound. Okay, Katonga Bridge repairs to take 3 weeks. That's according to Uganda National Road Authority. Remember, the Katonga Bridge was washed away, and so Uganda National Road Authority is working on that particular bridge. I think this has also affected transportation of the people in that area. Assailants raid Assistant Superintendent of Police Nampima's home, kill guard, is a story, as I did mention earlier on. Then another thing is that protect government facilities from vandals. That is Muhwezi tells internal security organizations right there, or internal security officers, they should be able to protect government facilities from vandals, and that is the message that has been sent to them. A police arrest boy over defiling 2-year-old girl is also another sad story where a boy defiling 2-year-old girl, I do not know why the person can really reason to that extent. Uganda's net foreign assets register 29 billion increase is also another good news story for our economy. in regards to money. And also floods wreaks more havoc in Uganda. Remember, we continue to register floods in different parts of this country, and they continue to cause problems. Police barracks for VIPs have no power and water. It's another story here that we have police officers who are living in barracks that do not have water and power. Moreover, VIP. And so, 2 main police barracks where officers who protect high-profile people and institutions have gone months on end without power or water. Last week's also said Zambia Police Barracks, the biggest in the country where VIP protection officers reside, has not had electricity for more than 2 months, while Nakuru Police Barracks, which accommodates officers of anti-riots, ICT and guard and general duties, was cut off from the water supply 3 months ago. 2 barracks house about 10,000 to 54,000 officers in the force. An officer who resides in Zambia Police Barracks said most of their colleagues stay in dormitories and they are made of timber, yet people are using candles and charcoal stoves. The risk of a fire is too high because we have children. That is the situation and life of the police officers that we have in this country, that they live in dormitories that are made of timber. They use candles and also charcoal stoves, and they also have family members, and they are at a high risk of dying of fire at any time. So police officers, please, come at the time debate on the welfare of the security personnel is ranging around the country as we do talk right now. Many officers in Zambia Police Barracks have been forced to erect shacklers near the water, the wastewater channel after their employer failed to establish house for them. Umeme, the power distributor, established a repayment meter at the Zambia Police Barracks, and whenever the officer, the police officers shoot beyond the boat unit, the system automatically cuts them off from the power grid. At Nakuru Police Barracks, the officers have power, but they don't have water due to non-payment of utility bills by their employer. Last month, the National Water and Sewerage Corporation issued a statement threatening to cut the water supply to more police barracks due to arrears. The spokesman of the National Water and Sewerage Corporation, that is Samuel Pedal, said the police management contacted them over the arrears and negotiations are ongoing. And these are issues that you need to know with the police force that we have in our country, Uganda, the lives that the police officers are living in, and we leave it to Almighty to really rescue them right there. If those who are supposed to think for them cannot think about the lives of these police officers. As somebody who also stayed in the barracks, I can confirm to you that these security officers that you see them, doing work in this country, sympathize with them, yeah. You sympathize with them. Life is not easy, yeah. Especially when it reaches around 20th of a month, you find that they have to look for dodo, they have to go and borrow money. All their ATM cards with the people who lend money, and in the UPDF soldiers call them the barodas. They are on baroda. Their ATM cards are with the money lenders. They don't have ATM cards with them. Then at the end of the month, what happens is that the money lender goes and withdraws the money and comes back, and they have to, compute and finish up with the balancing. And when you find that you're remaining with only 10,000, what are you supposed to do? You have to borrow another money. So the majority of the officers that we have in this country, they are working for the money lenders because they don't have the ATM cards. The ATM cards are with the money lenders because the value of money has really depreciated and cannot really sustain them. There are many who cannot really afford, paying their children at university. And that's why the other time, in Nakasongola, I think the soldiers were able to request President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to offer scholarship for the children of the soldiers so that they can really finish university study, because the money that they get cannot really support them in paying their children at the university level. And that is the situation of life with these officers that we have in these barracks. Yes, they might have all the weapons that you see. They might be rude with you at a certain point, but understand them. Sit together with them. I always sit with these officers. They tell me a lot, by the way. Yeah, and also somebody who who grew up in the barracks, I understand life in the barracks. And so we need to understand these officers. If they're firing tear gas there, and understand them. Just say, I know your situation. It's okay, but let's understand ourselves. But let us not shoot to kill. But we can, can disperse using tear gas, because according to one of the officers, he told me that when they shoot that tear gas, don't use water. Because when you use water, you are like, making the gas to enter into your eye. But what you have to do, open your eyes wide and don't blink. open your eye wide, and then the tear gas will evaporate. You understand? But don't use water once they fire tear gas. When you use water, it will really, take it inside. So the life is not easy with this. They're also going through a lot, media. Not only you and I, they also go through a lot. But we also just pray that one day maybe life will improve. They will be able to think about these officers. Let's get to the Daily Monitor. Let's get to the New Vision, and we get to know what is happening in the New Vision right here before we get into what is happening in the world of sports right this morning on Western Television. My name is Denis Oringi, and we are coming to live from the broadcast house of Western Television. It is Kokoliriko show where we give you a breadth of every information that you need to know, the highlights of the stories that are really making headlines in our country, Uganda, from the Daily. It's the Daily Monitor and also the New Vision that we do have in this country, and these are the papers that circulate in our country and also beyond. And Western sub-region, we are hard to reach region in terms of these papers, so we have to also make a quick mention for you on some of the stories that are appearing on this daily so that you get to understand. Let's start. Lira Chief Administrative Officer Otim arrested over abuse of office is one of the stories that we have in the New Vision this morning, that the Lira Chief Administrative Officer, that is Otim, was arrested over that is abuse of office. Otim was on Monday, May 15th, picked up from his home in senior quarters by officers from the State House Anti-Corruption Unit and the Uganda Police Force is what you need to know. He was driven to Kampala where he is expected to appear in court on Tuesday today. An officer from State House Anti-Corruption Unit who preferred anonymity for lack of authorization to speak publicly on the matter told New Vision that Otim is being charged with abuse of office and will appear in court on Tuesday today. Otim is accused of failing to control government property as an accounting officer of the district. The officer also revealed that the Chief Administrative Officer, as the custodian of government property, ended up disposing of the state government land through the district land board is something that you need to know. I have to tell you that the issue of disposing of government land is also here in Arua. Very soon you will also see something taking place differently. I think there's a piece of land that was sold off to a private person, and then when the Ministry of Local Government wrote a letter, and also Minister of Land wrote a letter to Arua District then to stop the sale of the government land. It found out that the money was already given to some people who shared the money, and currently as I do talk, the issue is really very hot, and very soon you will also hear somebody is being picked from here in Arua here, and so that's something that I need to let you know. And very soon we are following up on this particular story, and very soon we shall also be publishing that particular story of a piece of land here in Arua that has been sold off, and for government has issued a statement over that land, so the land should not be given to that private person. Even if the person had paid for the money, the people who picked the money should be able to refund back the money. I will be letting you know exactly who these persons are, in the due course of the week, and also as we continue to make follow-up on this particular story before we publish the story right there. All right, we still have more for you in the New Vision this morning in regards to stories that you need to know. Police hunt for 2 missing children is also another thing, and then suspected defiler arrested over viral TikTok video. There's a gentleman who recorded himself with a young girl. Good enough, he has been arrested. This is according to Fred Enanga. There was a TikTok video that was circulating around, of a gentleman who took a certain young girl to a lodge, and he defiled that young girl from there, and so he thought that he was making fun. Little did he know that he was implicating himself and also reporting himself. And that's quite unfortunate. That is misuse of social media that we always talk about. And for those who have social media, please make sure that you properly use your social media handle and not to really, post certain things that are not good. Hoima Hospital stuck with unidentified death mute mother is also another thing. A former youth member of parliament charged with obtaining money by false pretense is also another story here. Who is this former youth member of parliament who has been charged? You have to know that the Buganda Road Chief Magistrate Court has charged and remanded to Luzira Prison the former Central Youth Member of Parliament and President of the Uganda Netball Federation, Sarah Babire Kitio, for allegedly obtaining money by false pretense. On Monday, 15th May, that is, Babire appeared before a magistrate court, magistrate grade 1, Sienna Omumugisha and denied the charges. Babira was charged alongside businesswoman Zainab Namotebi with 2 counts of obtaining money by false pretenses, contrary to Section 305 of the Penal Code Act. The State Attorney Joyce Nakato said investigations in the matter are still ongoing. This prompted the magistrate to remand the duo to prison until May 17th, 2023 for mention. And then the prosecution alleges that in the month of May 2022, in Kampala district, Babira Namotebi and others still at large with intent to defraud, obtain 8 million Ugandan shillings from Sarah Wamala by falsely pretending that they would take her son to the United States, whereas not. Babira recently stepped away from the Uganda Netball Federation duties to pave the way for the investigation into allegations of financial impropriety that have engulfed the Netball Federation and National Council of Sports right there. And so that is something that you need to know as one of the stories in the New Vision today. That's what I can really tell you. Right there. More stories from the New Vision this morning. You have to know that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni receives a special message from Sudan, South Sudan's Kir. What is in the message? Let me find out right here for you here. That the message was delivered to President Museveni at the Baralegi State Lodge in Okwang Sub-County, Tuga District by the State Envoy of President Kir, that is Dr. Benjamin Bolmel Kwal, right there. And so the message was delivered to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at that is a State Lodge in Okwang Sub-County, Tuga District, by the Special Envoy of the President Kir, Dr. Benjamin Bolmel Kwal. The Special Envoy was accompanied by the Ambassador of South Sudan to Uganda, His Excellency Ambassador, that is Simon Joach Deng, among others, right there. And so that is something that you need to know in regards to this particular, special message from, that is the President of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, right there. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he's in Okwang Sub-County in Otuga District. I think he has gone very specifically to understand the insecurity being caused by the Karamojong right there, and also having a discussion with the local leaders on what needs to be done. Remember, the people of Lao and the people of Asholi sub-region, more especially those in the districts bordering Karamoja, they have been complaining bitterly about the insecurity that is being caused by the Karamojong cattle rustlers who give them sleepless night, and also ferrying away their cattle at the time when the son to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, went to Agago District. I promised the people of Agago District offered of some cattle, and I have to confirm to you that the cattle have been delivered to the people of Agago. Over 200 heads of cattle were really delivered to the people of Agago in regards to compensation of what the Karamojong were able to raid from them. And so I believe that the animals that were taken to Agago will be properly really shared among those that have been affected by the raids that have really happened right there. 10 minutes to the top of the hour, 9 a.m. right on Western Television. Let us get to what is happening in the world of sports this morning. Let me get to you what you need to know this morning happening in the world of sports. And let's start from what we have in the that is the FUFA Big League right this morning. You have to know that there are games that were played yesterday, and which game you need to know is something that I need to bring to your attention right this morning. In the FUFA Big League, the game played yesterday, you have to know that a narrow lead for the Cops in the first leg of the Stanbic Uganda Cup at Kavumba Recreational Grounds. Yesterday, Police FC was able to take on Adjumani Town Council. Unfortunately, Adjumani Town Council was able to lose the game to Police in 1-0 in favor of that is Police FC right there. And so that was the first leg of the Uganda Stanbic Bank Cup right there. And so that is something that you need to do. And so Asan Kikoyo's sport kick that gave us a victory over that is Adjumani Town Council at Kavuma in the first leg of the semi-final. This is according to Uganda Police Football Club Twitter handle, as they did say right there. And then in Star Times Uganda Premier League, what you need to know in regards to as many of the 4 teams are still fighting for their life in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, with the countdown starting on Tuesday today, looking at the March 28th that will be played. Which games are going to be played today, Tuesday, in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. I have to tell you that there are games that are going to be played. But some of the teams that will not really see themselves going back to play Uganda's Premier League, we have Onduparaka is one of the teams that might not go back to, that is Star Times Uganda Premier League, because of the position that they hold. A relegation ensures the under for fighting to stay up. As many as 4 teams are still fighting for their life in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, with the countdown starting Tuesday today. Uganda People's Defence Forces, Busoga United, Black Powers, and Onduparaka are all still within a chance of survival. On Tuesday, the quartet is in action, desperate for maximum points to have at least another campaign in the top tier of Uganda football. Bottom of the table, Onduparaka make a tough trip to Lozira, where on form Maroons are lacking right there. And so Onduparaka will be going to play Lozira right there. And so that is something that you need to know. According to the pictures for the match day 28 and Tuesday 16 May, we have KCC will be taking on Bull FC, is what you need to know. The game will be played at exactly 4 p.m. and it will be live on FUFA TV. That's what you need to know. Then Vipers will be taking on Express. The game will be at 4 p.m. and it will also be shown live on Sanyuka. And then UPDF will be taking on Sporting Club Villa. The game will be played at 4 p.m. Blacks Power will be taking on Gaddafi, and that is at 4 p.m. Maroons will be taking on Onduparaka, and then Arua Hill will be taking on Busoga, and the game will be played right here home of Arua Hill at that is Barifa. The Wakiso Giants will be taking on that is Bright Stars. The game will be played at 4 p.m. So all the games will be played at 4 p.m. The Caterpillars, who are on 16 points, must win to stand any chance of survival, as defeat will automatically send them to the FUFA Big League with the 2 matches remaining to play, is something that also you need to know. At the Akibua Stadium in Lira, Blacks Power host Gaddafi, hoping to win and keep pressure on bottom Busoga United and UPDF, who are above them. With the 20 points and 12 to play, for that is Hussein Balangu's men still believe they can stay in a division for longer than just one campaign. Busoga United, who are just 4 points above Black Powers, have a tough game away to Arua Hill, with UPDF 6 points better off the red zone host title, chasing Sporting Club Villa at Bombo, and that is something that you need to know in regards to the games that will be played today. And looking at the table standing as I talk right now, Vipers is sitting top on the log of Uganda Premier League with 46 points, and then that is KCC number 2 with 46 points, Sporting Club Villa number 3 with 46 points, and Arua Hill is number 4 with 38 points. Maroons is number 5 with that is 37 points. URA is number 6 with 36 points. Bright Stars is number 7 with 35 points. Bull FC is number 8 with 34 points. Wakiso Giants is number 9 with 33 points. Express FC is number 10 with 31 points. Gaddafi is number 11 with that is 30 points. UPDF is number 12 with 26 points. And then we have the Busoga United FC with the 13 points, number 13 with 24 points. Black Powers is number 14 with only 20 points, and then Onduparaka is number 15 with that is 16 points. And so if they win today's game, that means that they will be able to have 3 points to add on to the 16 points that they have, making it 19. And this, I do not know whether it's going to be possible for them to survive in this area of relegation, is something that I let you know right there. And so a relegation battle, no UPDF having 26 points, and then Sporting Club Villa will be playing home, and then Gaddafi will be going away, and then Onduparaka will be playing home. Busoga United, they still have a game with Arua Hill home, and then KCCA away. Busoga United still have a game with that's Arua Hill away. And then they will be playing KCC home. They will be playing Vipers also home. Black Powers with 20 points, they have a game with the Gaddafi. They will be playing this game home. Onduparaka, they will be playing away. Sporting Club Villa, they will be playing away. And then Express, they will be playing home. Onduparaka still have a game with the Marunda. They are going to play today. And then they will be having Black Power at home. And then UPDF also away. And so Onduparaka so far have 3 games that they're supposed to play, 2 games away, and then 1 game they will be playing. The 1 game they will be playing right here at home at Ababet Greenlight Stadium. This is what I can really tell you in the world of that is Uganda Premier League, news that is coming through right here through Western Television. And so another news that also you need to know here when we talk about the games, we need to get to that is 23 fixtures to complete the group stage level at 2023 Uganda Secondary School Sports Association football that is ongoing right there in Fort Portal and in Barara. And so there are 23 fixtures that have been drawn ready to complete the group stage level at 2023. That is Uganda Secondary School Sports Association game. And so what do you need to know in regards to this is what also you have to put at the back of your mind that Kabito guides West Ville Pass, and that is PG in the game that is going on at in Fort Portal under Uganda Secondary School Sports Association. 23 fixtures to complete the group stage level at 2023 Uganda Secondary School Sports Association football. The 2023 Uganda Secondary School Sports Association football champion will have the group stages completed on Tuesday 16th May today at various grounds in Fort Portal Tourism City at 9 a.m. The Buttons Mitiana Secondary School face Buddha Secondary School at that is Canon Apollo Primary Teachers College. And so at exactly 9 a.m. we will be seeing Mitiana Secondary School facing on that is Budo Secondary School right there. Amus College face Mbale Progressive at Nyakasura 1 playground. Blessed Sacred Sacrament Kimanya will take on Dynamics at Kitarasa playgrounds. And then Lakeside SS Masese face Shigumba Royal College at Minor Seminary Playground. There will be games at 11 a.m., 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively right there. Looking at the adjusted fixtures for Tuesday 16 May 2023, Mitiana SS will be taking on Budu, and then Amus will be taking on Bale Progressives. Blessed Sacrament will be taking on Dynamics. Kawempe Royal College will be taking on Patton Seed School. Lakeside SS Masese will be taking on Chigumba Royal College. And then at 11, the game that will be played there will be Koma Secondary School be taking on Jinja Progressive Academy. We also have the Panyadoli will be taking on St. Julian Gayaza. And then Andy Mwesigwa will be taking on Africa with Love. Wisdom will be taking on Arua SS. So we still have Arua SS that is in the game. And then they will be playing with the Wisdom. The game will be played at 11. Royal Giants Mitiana will be taking on Kianga. Mulusa Academy will be taking on Lotoke School. And then that is Nganwa will be taking on Toro Progressive Academy. Victoria High School will be taking on Fort Portal Secondary School. And then St. Gerard's will be taking on Mukono Kings. St. Jude SS will be taking on St. Mary's Simbia. Kabalega SS will be taking on Shibuli. St. Matthias Kalembe will be taking on Old Kampala. St. Denis Kijanguzo will be taking on Kawembe Muslim. St. Bernard SS Manya will be taking on West Ville. Dokolo Progressive will be taking on Mpiji. St. Kagwa will be taking on Jinja SS. Bokedea Comprehensive will be taking on Akwesi. St. Joseph's College Layibi will be taking on Standard High School in Zana right there. So these are the games that will be played today. That is the playoff that will be taking place right there. And so how many schools do we have from this side? We only have, I think, Arua Secondary School, and then St. Joseph's College Gibi from the north. And so Patton is also still surviving from the north. So we have around 4 schools from northern region. And so we wish them well in the struggle that they will be making right the other side. Dear viewer, thank you very much for being with us up to this particular time. We have come to the end of the program, the Kokoliriko Show, right here on Western Television, Tuesday edition, 16th May 2023. My name is Denis Oringi. Catch me again tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the program, the Kokoliriko Show, that comes over every Monday through Friday from the hour 7 a.m. up to around 9 a.m. right on Western Television. Have the best of your morning. Other programs will be following suit. Allow me to say big up to my producer that is Aldo Manano, together with my camera person, Dizon the Pro, for really making the show a successful one up to this particular time. Have the best of your morning. Good morning. God bless you.
West Nile TV, lighting up